Colleagues, thank you for joining the today's webinar. We will start in a couple of minutes as there are still few people are joining. So give me a few more 2 or 3 minutes and then we will start. Yeah, I think we can start now so we can finish on time. Okay, so let's start. So, dear participant, uh, all the climate transparency expert and all the BTR adventure from the Asia and the Pacific. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on which time zone you are joining us from. This is the first time that Asia and Pacific together that we are doing event. So maybe the time is not comfortable for all of us, but thank you still for joining this today's webinar. And on behalf of the CBIT GSP, me and my colleague Noim warmly welcome you to the our today's webinar on the preparation to submission journey of the first BTR, lesson learned and the sharing of experience. We have divided this webinar series in two parts, where in a second part we are understanding the technical expert review. And first part today we will see what and how we can learn from the other countries. So transparency, everything is the foundation of this BTR and climate reporting. So it is also the source of many sleepless nights. So we all know that the BTR deadline has passed, and we have gathered today some people, some experts from these some countries, those who have already navigated this journey of the BTR. So you all know that ETF is not just an acronym in this our climate alphabet group, but it represents the fundamental shift in how we demonstrate our climate commitment to the world. And today we will see firsthand from the countries, those who have already submitted their BTRs and leave to this journey of the submission to from preparation to the submission of the BTR. So we have colleagues from Maldives, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Philippines, and Brunei. Those we have already confirmed, and they will share their victory and their challenges, and also maybe some uh, interesting thing about this preparation of the BTR, what not to do when preparing the BTR, and what to be focused. So I think whenever we are starting a BTR journey, data collection, and all this practical insight will be a key point for the today's discussion. So this is the our idea of the today's webinar, and here BTR is not just like writing the reports. Uh, we can say we are building the accountability foundation for our collecting climate future, and there is a no waste time to prepare the BTR. Those who have prepared, they have to start for the second BTR. So there is a no best time to prepare. Your BTR was 6 months ago. The second best time is the today. So this is a continuous journey, and this is the continuous improvement. That is the uh, main heart of this BTR preparation process, or you can say the transparency. So without the delay, we have enough time today to discuss everything, to learn everything, to hear from the all these countries, those who are here today, to share their experience of the BTR preparation. So with this, let's start our climate transparency adventure, and I will invite my colleague Mr. Noim for the next session of this talk taking on climate reporting. And then we have a one small break of Mentimeter. We will run through a Mentimeter survey. We have a few questions. We will also take some group photo. So prepare your camera after this speech of my colleague. And then we have intervention from the country, and the floors is open for everyone. It is the open invitation to all the participants. So let me go back to my colleague, and then we will go in detail for the next activity. Yes, Noim, please.
Thanks, Chapel. Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, and good day where you are sitting. I see lots of colleagues joined from the Asian Pacific, and I think, as Chapel mentioned, this is one of the first opportunity, and we're also trying to match the common timing zone. Thanks, colleagues from the other side of the world, that you are maybe very early morning. We're in the Pacific. Some colleagues are actually finishing the day. So, and I'm sitting in Sydney, where it's the middle of the day. So without further ado, I think I will have a very short presentation. The idea to give this presentation is just to bring a kind of a perspective that what we think about in the Pacific countries, what you're doing here. Some of my colleagues I see here, it may be kind of a repeating things for you, but I will try to be quick. Some of the sections and some of the sections I will just explain a little bit. So if I turn off my camera, will that be okay to save some bandwidth? And I will start sharing my PowerPoint. Thank you. So please let me know if you can see my PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, yeah, thanks, colleagues. So as JPAL is actually representing the Asia network, I am helping and working with the colleagues from here in the Pacific, CBGSP Pacific Coordinator. I'm not going to go details what is actually talk about the CBGSP project, but this is just, again, the same thing we're talking in the Asia region as well in the Pacific region. We have three main objectives that we actually trying to work with you to transition towards the transparency or ETF. From our MRV, it is kind of a one-stop shop for transparency. We have an online platform, and we're also thinking to mainstream the gender consideration. I think most of us who are also very new, please look at this website. We have a platform where you can find all the informations there. It's not too difficult to find all the events and the updated information, as well as case studies, knowledge sharing. Maybe some of you have this good story here as well. Brief overview. I'm not gonna actually read all the details, but you can have this PowerPoint presentations in the website. So basically, just to acknowledge, this is a JEF-funded projects. We also have a Belgium fund from the Belgian government. We not only do this capacity building. I'm looking at the third bullet point. We can also, review your transparency reports. That's probably going to hear from you colleagues from the Asian region. As well as we also provide the trainings on IPSS software. Then we're preparing the dedicated gender toolkit. We're doing the webinars like this one, and this is probably the first one for this year as a technical webinar. We also prepare some knowledge products and global meetings such as the Global Transparency Forum. I think this year it will be sometimes in September, and I hope the colleagues will be attending that event in later of the year. Now, I think the left side is a main area of support. I believe what you probably know that we're actually helping or working with two colleagues on the submission of the last viewers, or maybe the first BTR and the BTR from now on. We can also look at the sustainable institutional arrangements as well as the best dissemination of best practices. We're also looking at the South-South cooperations here. We can also support the prioritized areas by countries. I will focus on that in a few moments. In the right side, you can see how do we do it. I think, as just mentioned at the beginning, that we have lots of activities, training, or even technical webinars, quality review, knowledge products, updated gender toolkits, and I believe our colleagues in Asia is probably much more familiar. All these things, we are still trying to do some of these things in the Pacific region. As just to show where we are, colleagues from the Asia, of course, you know us. Here we are on the right side. This is our Pacific network. We have 10 countries, and this is one of the best thing. I like it in the Pacific. So this is we are. We are 14 countries in the Pacific. The white areas are the landmass. So you can see the Papua New Guinea is the largest one. And you can think about our colleagues where actually I see from the Marshall Island, Cook Island, and Niue. If you see the small dot, actually that is our landmass. We are actually not smaller in size, but actually we're bigger in heart and much bigger. We have the exclusive economic zone here in this space. So I believe we're part of all the countries are part of the OSCE group. We're also sometimes represent PSIDs, Pacific Small Island Development States. And if I take it's a little bit narrowing down, I like this kind of indicator compiled by our colleagues from the Regional Pacific Indice Hub. I actually highlighted three things. If you look at the land area, the smallest country here, we have Nauru. We have just 21 square kilometer. Then Tuvalu. But the most interesting part, if you actually look at the sea area and the exclusive economic zones, we're talking about over 2 million square kilometer, even from Marshall Island or even Kiribati, or even if you look at it, Cook Island. Another important indicator, I think, where we talk about the scale, if you think about a country less than 2,000 population, is Niue, 1,562 people. You can think about countries. Tuvalu, we have 10,000 people. We have Cook Island, 17,000 people, and you can see the largest one here is the Papua New Guinea. So I'm trying to say here, it's a very dynamic region with a varying degree of national circumstances, and that's why we are also standing in a different stages of this journey of BTR and transparency, as Jepal was mentioning. But on the right side, it is another indicator is our total GST emissions. But if I sum everything, it will be 0.001 or 0.0001% of global total. So we are really, really small, but you will be surprised at how much you are doing here. Just a snapshot, what you have done in the CBGSP. We did lots of country support last year. We had a global transparency support forum, as well as we have a regional event this year. And happy to say that, we did one just in March. We're actually doing another one, bigger one, in the whole Pacific in May. The first one was in Polynesia, so only for a few countries, and who were in 2024 Global Transparency Forum. Fiji showed their leadership in excellence in knowledge sharing. I'm not going in detail, just to let you know that in the Pacific, we actually work with a lot of partners. So if you can think about even in country capacity building, we have lots of partner names here, regional partners, UN agencies, as well as specialized agencies. Similarly, for the other regional workshops. We have lots of partners, definitely with the UNFCCC, our neighbor government of Australia, government of New Zealand, as well as SPC, Regional Pacific Indice Hub. If you don't know any of those people, I believe that colleagues are here. They can actually tell what is SPC, what is Regional Pacific Indice Hub is doing. And then we have a funding partner, European Union, and other development agencies. Now, the learning. So just to let you know, a few bullet points here that we have a very interesting learning here that we need to know our stakeholder and always need to have a political buy-in. I believe is the same thing in countries in Asia, and we need to have a blessings from the government. I'm not going to go details of the bullet points, but there are lots of challenges in terms of technology. And we found that face-to-face learning is much more engaging, acknowledging our traditional customs and knowledge here. We're always guided by the coordinating agency, and we have to collaborate with the development partners. There are some challenges also probably common in your region. I think we're going to look at in detail, but it's mostly like we need to work together with the partners here, because the absorptions means it's like the main one of the thing that a country naturally 10,000 people, we cannot compare this with I'm checking Japan's country, India, or Bangladesh. That's the same absorption capacity we have here. So to continue these things, I put this one in front of us during last month training that on the left side we have all this traditional way of thinking, whatever we're doing in terms of MRV. On the right side, we're looking at here the digital transformation, where we will be using the reporting tool, which is the digital reporting tool. And the question is that, are we ready with the tools and resources? Having said that, if I look at this, the main, what Jepal wants to see it here, I pictured here and or got the information, all our national climate reporting. And you can see the first, the BTR status, only Vanuatu submitted BTR from the 14 Pacific countries in the region or Pacific region in February. And I think we're happy to share that, last month we heard from Cook Island is 70%, 75% complete. Tuvalu has got the BTR already, is waiting for the government approval. At the same time, you can look at the indices status. Actually, many countries are in the planning to do indices 3.0. And in terms of the national communication status, is actually, I think the last one I saw is a draft third national communications from Palau. Thanks, Mickey. I see you are online, but that's probably the one we see the latest one here. There are many things in the planning, but BOR, I think only few BOR submitted from the region, and I think the countries are not really looking any more BOR in the region. This is the last one, just to share with you colleagues that UNFCCC requested some kind of submissions on experience on Article 13. So Article 13 of the Paris Agreement is actually the base for all this ETF and transparency framework. And I did not change the wording. The wording I highlighted on the right side, and they all agreed and communicated with the UNFCCC policy that one of the primary challenge is the lack of adequate support and resources to prepare the first BTR. The second bullet point I thought is very relevant. It says another issue is the lack of effective institutional arrangements. Now, I think I like the word effective, and I think why this is saying that, if you read the thorough text, it says that countries who do have established institutional arrangements struggle with effectively sustaining them. I think this is exactly happening in the region, that when you say this additional requirement, then how could you sustain with the current institutional arrangements? And then finally, last two bullet points are the data collections are another significant barrier, as well as human resource limitations. We're not saying it's a lack. It's a natural reason that we're a small countries. We have a small workforce and manpower. I'm sure colleagues here will be looking at you from the Asia region to hear and understand how do you actually manage these things. So this is my last slide, and happy to take some questions. But over to you, Japel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noeem. And yes, thank you for the very comprehensive information about the CBDSP and all the Pacific region activity. So I think in a BTR, when we are in a discussion session, we will also learn from the all the Asian countries how and what BTRs work and what not work. So that's the main session of our today's activity. So let's start with the next activity. I think we have more than 35 people. So I think I can request all of you to please turn on your camera so we can take a one good picture, and with the smiling faces we can move to the next session. I think Asian people are still in a morning mode and Pacific are already ending the day. So okay, let's wait for a few more seconds. Okay, I'm taking the first snapshot. Keep smiling. This is not a technical expert review. So, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving a beautiful face and turning your camera. So in the next activity, we will go through a Mentimeter. We have prepared some 4-5 questions, and we will all go with together with this all the slide. So let me share the screen plus also the link of the Mentimeter in the chat box. I have posted the link in the chat box. You can directly click the link, or you can also scan the QR code. This is not a self-paced, so you have to run with me. So I request all of you, either you can click the link in the chat box, or you can just scan this QR code, or even you can just only type the www.menti.com in your mobile browser or laptop and just enter the code 37189456. So you will see this first screen because when I click, the screen will also change in your screen also. So let me put the first question. And those who have not scanned the code, you can still scan the code on the left side. For the Pacific, it will be maybe a little bit small, but yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, but we have a good people from the Asia and also the Pacific. And you have to answer this with me because once I change this slide, the slide will change on your screen also. So I would request all of you, those who have still not joined, please join this Menti. You can click in the chat link. Okay, we have already 28, so let's move to the first. We would like to know what is your primary role in your country's BTR preparation, even the submitted BTR or for the next BTR or the current BTR. I have already 12, 15 responses. Okay, I think from the responses we have most of common people, those who are coordinator or the technical experts. So yeah, that's you are the right people, those who have joined today's webinar, and we would like to also learn from you that how you have managed and how what you are doing in the terms of the BTR. So let's move to the next. Uh, for the BTR, Asian countries, more than half of the Asian countries have submitted, but as we also have some Pacific countries. So we would like to know where you are in terms of preparing the BTR. So for all the Pacific countries, these Asian countries will help you to from moving towards from preparation to the submission. That's a good thing. I think 40% already submitted and 30% are already in a final stage. So I think maybe in a few more couple of months, we have a few more new BTRs, and that's a interesting thing from learn from the even from the Pacific and small island country. And which BTR reporting area do you think that will be most challenging for your country? If you have already completed, then you can share, or if you are still preparing, can inform us. We have put the four main chapters and the three another things related to the BTR, institutional arrangement, data collection, and the ETF reporting too. I have 15 responses, 20 responses. So let me wait for a couple of seconds. The inventory and the NDC, the two mandatory requirement of the BTR is the most challenging. But the data collection, yes, it is also come from the UNFCCC CG survey that data is the main problem in the all over the Asia and Pacific. Okay, let me move to the next question. Yeah, and I think, yeah, this is the last for the current stage, and we will also run the Mentimeter at the end of the webinar. But these are the just common things that maybe could be things that you would like to learn today. So this will be an input for the our presenters, the countries, those who are already here from the Asia, those who have already submitted the BTR. We have a limited time, so maybe we may not able to, these countries will not able to share everything in detail. But of course, if you are interested, then we can have a session again in the future to discuss and go in detail. So I think we have a mix of the views. Some people would like to know about the common challenges. Some people would like to understand about the specific BTR section uh, on the quality assurance, also data collection, timeline. So yeah, we have also prepared this kind of guiding question that help us to understand from the country, and the floor is open for everyone to ask the question also. So let's start this. I will stop sharing and we will again run this Mentimeter after the end of the webinar to understand more about the today's webinar also and also from the countries. So with this, we can start the next session, and the main session of the today's webinar. We will learn from the countries that what is your experience of the submitting and preparing and everything about the BTR, whatever they can say. So the we have kept open, but we have also prepared some guiding questions so that they can also answer. Or so with this, I would like to request. We have already Sri Lanka, Maldives, Malaysia. So let me start with the Sri Lanka. Ambika, I thank you for joining the today's webinar, and you are also very small country and island country like Pacific. So maybe your experience would be very helpful for the all the Pacific countries also. So please, Ambika, thank you for joining
Yeah.
the webinar.
Good morning to all. Good evening. Good morning. So I will share my presentations. Jaipal, there's some issue in sharing the screen. So,
You can send me the PPTs
ah,
through WhatsApp.
okay. I,
Or you can share it with me. I can
okay.
move to the next
I will
country.
send. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So let me move to the Maldives and then I will come back to
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we have also the one small island country from the Asia, Maldives, and I would really congratulations to the Maldives team that they have submitted before the deadline, very before the deadline. So and very good BTR that they have prepared, and recently I think they have also gone through the technical expert review process. So I will also invite them for the second webinar to share how was the technical expert review. So let me move to the Raupa. Thank you for joining the today's webinar, and we would very happy to hear from the Maldives experience of the preparation of the first BTR. Please.
Thank you, Jaipal. Happy to be here. Good to see you all. Good morning from the Maldives. Let me share my screen first. Jaipal,
Yes, you are also facing some problem.
yes, I'm sorry. Can I quickly WhatsApp you
Yeah,
my
yeah, please, please.
presentation now?
I have already make you a presenter, but I don't know. Maybe some problem. Yeah, I got it. Let me open it. Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning from the Maldives. Uh, Good afternoon and good evening to everyone. My name is Fatma Traufa Musa, and I'm the Project Technical Coordinator at the Climate Change Department, Ministry of Tourism and Environment. I'll be sharing the experiences of the preparation of our first BTR of the Maldives. To go through a summarized overview of our arrangements, the Ministry of Tourism and Environment is the designated focal ministry responsible for the climate change portfolio in the Maldives. The compilation of the BTR and other climate report into the UNFCCC are undertaken through the Climate Change Department. We call it the CCD. And looking at key legislation, the Climate Emergency Act, which was enacted in 2021, gives the overall legal authority to the ministry. The ministry is required to establish the legislative and administrative frameworks which are needed to formulate and implement the policies necessary to protect the Maldives from the adverse effects of climate change. Also, other relevant legislations we have are the Maldives Energy Act, Waste Management Act, the Utility Regulatory Authority Act, and the Statistics Act. These are significant legislations which stipulate the requirements for collecting, processing, analyzing data relevant for the climate change reporting. On this slide, you can see the communications that have been submitted by the Maldives thus far. Two national communications, one BUR and the BTR that has been submitted. In addition to this, of course, there would also be the NDC submissions also. Maldives has submitted its third NDC this year in February. Next slide, please. Jaypal, if you, thank you. This shows a diagrammatic representation of our institutional setup. Like I said, the ministry is on top, and then it's the CCD. The institutional setup for the national reporting has evolved and improved over time. And for this BTR, we prepared it with the support from Jeff and UNEP. How we had the arrangements was that a small PMU was established in the CCD, and the BTR process was headed and guided by the project director from the CCD. The overall conduct and coordination of the activities was undertaken by the project technical coordinator, which is me. I had the support of the other CCD colleagues and national experts we got through the project, and administrative and financial personnel who was ensuring day-to-day implementation of activities. Chapters were developed and analysis were done by national experts in close collaboration and consultation with stakeholders. We have two working groups previously established for national reporting purposes, and we utilize those national working groups. We have one which has adaptation and cross-cutting, and the other which has mitigation and cross-cutting. And we had stakeholders engaged from other government agencies, NGOs, private sector, experts in academia, and data providers. Next slide, please. This slide shows the technical areas of reporting and the most significant challenges we had. As you would know, under the ETF requirements, we have to submit CRTs for GHG inventory and CTFs for NDC tracking and support needed and received for financial, technical, and capacity building. For us, it was very challenging to use the tools. For example, in NDC tracking CTF, it asks for methodology information, and we found it challenging to include the information directly in the table itself. Therefore, we included the methodology in the report, and in the CTF, we referred to the section of the report. And there were other things like that in the use of the tool. Since it was very early that we were working on the tool, there were still a lot of glitches and things like that as well. And then it was helpful to have participated in some of the workshops that were held in 2024 last year. And I think CBGSP also had arranged some for which we were able to attend, and those were very helpful. Also, our experts contacted support directly while filling the tables, and they were able to get support like that. And then I think there have been recent updates to the tool which make it easier. And then if we look at the GHG inventory, there was also we had the challenge that we do it normally in the IPCC software, and when we took it to the CRT tables, it's not exactly the same mapping that is on the CRT tables. So our experts had to spend time on it to see where exactly the numbers were going, and then to give the proper explanations in our analysis. And then in the NDC tracking, I'd say indicators are not in our indicators are being developed actually right now through the CBIT project that is ongoing in the Maldives at the moment. So we didn't have indicators ready already. So we selected one indicator and we tried reporting on that, and we did one simple indicator and we did reported like that. And then on adaptation, we have many sectors and a diverse range of information that is required to be collected and reported. We had 9 sectors plus loss and damage, and we reported on our vulnerabilities and climate change impacts and adaptation strategies for each sector in this chapter. In the chapter of support needed and received, I'd say the main challenge was quantifying the support needed. So we reported this qualitatively. We didn't provide any quantitative need in this report. We will try to do it for the next one. Next slide, please. So looking at the overall challenges, firstly, I have capacity constraints and institutional memory as a significant challenge. Like, it so happens that the GHG inventory expert and the mitigation expert were no longer with the ministry. Like, from the previous reportings, the people who did those reportings were no longer, but we were able to bring them in as external consultants. And then we had to ensure that our deliverables and their availability were in alignment. So these staff turnovers make it very challenging to build on and improve from previous experiences. Secondly, limited financial and human resources is a significant challenge. The project we had with the JEF and UNEP support helped to bridge this gap by providing the financial support to engage external expertise and conduct stakeholder engagement. But there are still responsibilities of the project team while compiling the report, and these include ensuring sufficient transparency, facilitating the process of data collection, ensure the quality of data, ensure sufficient engagement of stakeholders, and these require a lot of administrative work and financial support. Thirdly, limited institutionalized data collection procedures and data culture within the country. I think it's common in our small countries a lot. In Maldives, some of the institutions that provide data for the requirements, they did not have systematic data collection, analysis, and publication processes, and the requirements of the GHG inventory are very extensive. So, and even if we talk about data requirements for adaptation efforts, it's very extensive. Therefore, data providers have to compile and share the data on a request basis. And a lot of institutions have improved their systems over the several years of reporting we have done. However, there's still a lot of room for improvement in this area. And then the geographic dispersion of our 200 plus inhabited islands. And it's a huge challenge to coordinate with stakeholders and ensure their active participation in the reporting process. Lastly, the timeline for compiling, reviewing, and validating the BTR was very limited. So it was an added pressure to an already resource constrained process. Next slide, please. So based on our experience, these are the key lessons learned that I've summarized. Firstly, continuous capacity building and training of team members on ETF tools and MPGs to strengthen institutional knowledge. Secondly, strengthening and leveraging existing data systems within government agencies and improving them is crucial. And we need to streamline data collection and reporting processes. Thirdly, instead of forming temporary teams for each reporting cycle, having a long-term dedicated team will lead to continuity and efficiency in transparency reporting. And also, periodic and timely support is essential for a more sustained and structured approach to climate reporting. So as Noim mentioned in his presentation as well, a lot of the challenges we have are very similar or exactly the same as he mentioned in his presentation. For example, we have very small very small technical teams, so that whenever we have stakeholder consultations, we would see it would almost always be the same people who are coming for consultations and to provide their expert opinions. So I hope my presentation would in some way be helpful. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them, or feel free to reach out to me. My email address is on the last slide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raupa. And yes, we will share all these PPTs of the countries to all the participants. And we can also take a question and answer, but maybe we'll let's hear some few more countries. So then we can have a good sessions to interact with all of us. So let me quickly move to the Sri Lanka. I already got the presentation, so let me share it. Okay, here it is. Yes, Amika. You can start now.
Yes. Once again, good morning, good evening to all. So, on behalf of the Climate Change Secretariat of Ministry of Environment in Sri Lanka, I will present that the Sri Lanka's lesson learned and sharing of the experience for the preparation of first biennial transparency report. I am Ambika Tennokon, Environment Management Officer of the Climate Change Secretariat of Sri Lanka. So, shall we share the next slide, please? Yeah, as a national focal point to the UNFCCC, Ministry of Environment will play a critical role for preparation of this BTR, first BTR. So climate as a operational focal point to the UNFCCC, Climate Change Secretariats of Sri Lanka act as some functions, all the functions for preparation of those BTR1. So when we are preparing the BTR, we had to face limited, so many challenges related to the data sharing, legal arrangement, and then time delay in gathering and accessing data and information. So insufficient institutional arrangements, we have some sort of institutional arrangement, how it is not perfect one to preparation of within the preparation and submission of within the limited time period. We had so many clearance to get the so many clearance from the relevant stakeholders for the data and verifications also. Also we in country or train skill staff for BTR preparation is lacking, insufficient. So limited train and skill staff is available. So this is the main challenge we faced during preparation of the preparation of BTR1. So the insufficiency arrangement data monitoring. Most of the time we want to take consideration for MRV and some data collection systems, but insufficient arrangement for data monitoring we identified as the main challenges. Then insufficient training on BTR. BTR preparation is the first time in the global. So sometimes stakeholders, private sectors, UN agencies are lack of knowledge on the CRTs, MPGs, and some flexibilities. So we want to face those challenges for preparation of first BTR. Next slide. Yeah, when we are challenging those issues, those constraints, we have to address those challenges. First, we take some steps to make aware the importance of fulfilling national commitment to the UNFCCC, and we developed a teamwork as a country. We got a support of all the stakeholders such as government, expert, consultants, UN agencies, and CBOs, even CBOs also, as a teamwork to preparation of this BTR1. So then we have to opportunity to share the some data sharing agreements for data collection, management, and coordination with the climate change secretariat. So we legally prepare some data sharing agreement with the stakeholders to collect data and share with the BTR preparation. Then we provide the training with the support of the CBDSP. So Mr. Jaipal also help us to provide some technical training for all the stakeholders to engage with the BTR preparation. Then awareness sessions to familiarize with MPGs and its related CRTs and CTFs. This is the first time in the global community to try to build their information, climate information on the MPGs, and we had some training session, awareness session to familiarize with MPGs and its related CRT and common reporting for tabular formats also. Then we want to collect some activity data, estimates, and emissions factor were periodically verified. When we are collected those activity data, estimates, and emission factor, we want to verify then some emission factor estimates. Then we come together and discuss and had a workshop to resolve the discrepancies through the consultation with the key stakeholders of sector experts. Then we establish an independent review panel with the some expertise, technical expertise to review those BTR1. Those are the steps we taken to address those challenges. Next slide, please. When we are considering the specific chapters or reporting areas and post the data technical difficulties, National GHG Inventory Report report. So we main challenge is the data collection and management. So then information necessary to track progress made in the implementing and archiving NDCs, achieving NDCs. So we need to report, collect those information against to the indicator identified in the NDC, so submitted to the UNFCCC. So those are some information are lacking. So we had some difficulty in collecting those information from the NDC tracking. Then information need to climate change impact and adaptation. As island nations, we already face some climate change impact. So we need to showcase our impact and what are the adaptation measures we address those impacts. So when we are estimating our vulnerabilities and in fact we had faced some difficulty in data collection, updated data estimated forecast also we face. Then financial technological development and transfer and capacity building support received. When we are preparing our BTR1, it is a main some constraint. There is some constraint to collect those data from the various sources. So we think that it is the best way to got those data from the UN agencies. So we discuss with the UN agencies, especially for UNDP, URIDO, IMOs, and FAO. So we can contact all the officers, respective officers of those agencies. Then we get their information from their databases also for the report of the support received. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. Then actually, when I already mentioned that we had some lack of national available activity data aligned with the IPCC 2000 worksheets. But we have a data, but it's not in align with the IPCC 2006 worksheet, UNFCCC guideline and MPGs of the Paris Agreement. So this is the main challenge we face. Then insufficient data related to waste sector and land use change data. So this is the first BTR. We have identified some insufficient data related to waste and land use sector of the FLU. So we under the CBIT project, we have developed some institutional arrangement and some MRV system for collect data in systematic way for the future reporting purpose with the support of FAO and UNDP. Then a structural summary of tracking progress made in implementing and archiving the NDC. Those are the main challenge for the filling those information in the for the structural summary. We organize some training sessions, but not for fit for all stakeholders. So in future we are planning to organize several workshops to familiarize with these new concept, new guidelines, new tables with the relevant stakeholders. So when we are preparing our national GHG inventory, we use a IPCC software version 3.8 version. So however, in some few people are available that make familiarize with this software. However, it is not full knowledge on the comprehensive knowledge on that all the stakeholders. So we identified in those challenge with the stakeholder within the stakeholder. Then ETF tools for data and information sharing also challenge. I also participate for the one workshop. However, I got some information, then I share with them. However, it is also challenging to provide our data and information to the system tool via the ETF tools. Next, please. When we are actually BTR preparation is new and common new to the developing countries as well as the developed countries. So we are focus on the systematic review process, including consultation with relevant government agency, stakeholders, and technical experts, work conducted to gather data and information, verification and validate the accuracy and comprehensive of BTR1. Preparation of BTR1 is not one per Ministry of Environment's work, but it is a teamwork with the support of the relevant stakeholders, expert consultants, and the officials of UN agencies. So we plan continuous training and awareness sessions of ETF training requirement, including webinars organized with the expert team to familiarize with those new concepts. So then actually this is I want to say that the guidance and advice of the senior officers of Ministry of Environment of Sri Lanka give their experience. They share their experience with the COP decisions and MPGs with the BTR preparation team, and take a decision immediately for the adhere to that guidelines. So those are the guidance and advice also we integrated to the our BTR preparation. Then training on ETF requirement, support of international consultants also we sought. Then we the experience and lesson learned through the training on ETF requirement we obtained from those the international consultant. Then we had the opportunity to prepare our inventory and NDT trackings also. Then when we are preparing our BTR1, it was an opportunity to train on the BTR reporting requirement, including ETF tool, which was organized by the UNFCCC and PETPA. As earlier I mentioned that CBIT GSP also helped at the beginning of the BTR preparation. After that, we had some opportunity to get the training sessions, limited training for with the stakeholders for the organized by the UNFCCC and PETPA. Then we familiarize with actually this is need to more training to familiarize BTR reporting tools for relevant officials and experts. Those are the needs we want to future. Then when we are sharing the strategies we use to quality and consist of the reported information of our BTR1. So we plan, as I mentioned earlier, we plan a systematic review process, including consultation with relevant government agencies, stakeholders, and technical experts for data and information, verification and validate of accuracy and comprehensive of BTR1. Then we had a separate workshop for data verification and gap filling. So during that workshop, we have identified what are the gaps and how we are going to address those gaps. Then we take a decision at the workshop. Then next step, advice to the consultant to follow those advices given and guidance given by our higher officials of the Ministry of Environment. Then MRV system has been established sector-wise under the CBIT project. We have already developed the MRV system for pollution sector. In future, we are planning to develop MRV systems for waste and energy sector, but it is required to operationalize this MRV framework within the clear guidelines and protocols, MRV protocols. So then these are the strategies. Then strengthening institutional and technical capacities. Institutional arrangement is a main challenge for data collections, management, archiving for the BTRs and the national climate reporting. So we need to strengthening. We identified that it is a it is important to strengthen institutional capacities and technicals staff of the. that institutions. Then improving data availability is also it is needed to take immediate actions to the so then under the CBIT project we have identified some solutions, data sharing arrangements, data sharing agreements, then QC protocols and some measurement protocols and memory protocols we have developed for the improve the quality data and consist of the reported information. Then enhancing quality assurance and quality control system also we have identified as a needed need. So we enhance that quality assurance and quality control system. Next.
Ambika, can you quickly recap so we can have more chance to discuss?
Then what is then when we are advice this presentation mainly prepared for the guiding questions prepared by the Jaipal through email. So the advice I want to share with other countries also. Proper planning for preparation of BTR1 is almost needed. Actually, we have as a country, Sri Lanka, we had a limited time for the preparation of BTR1. So we had a 4 month, only 4 months we had, but we planned very well with the discussion with the relevant consultant, expert, UN agencies, and our senior officials of the Ministry of Environment. So we planned and we discussed weekly meeting. We had a weekly meeting and we prepare expert meeting. We want to share with you. It is should be a plan. Proper planning is needed for the preparation of BTR1. Then awareness and education is must for in preparing your BTR1. It must awareness and education on BTR preparation at all level in the country. It may be an expert, it may be a consultant, it may be a government or the private sector. You should aware them and educate them on BTR preparation as a national commitment to fulfill the by a country. Need a systematic data collection, management and archive system is needed. For BTR is not a one time reporting, but it may be a BTR MR cycle. So we prepare systematic data collections and management and archive process is needed. So we want to find some financial assistance from the UN agencies or some JEF need to develop some MRV and those system. Thank you very much. These are the lessons and sharing experience for our Sri Lankan experience for preparing BTR1. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ambika. And yeah, you have comprehensively covered all the questions that we put on the agenda and try to answer the Sri Lanka's experience in that all these your answers. So it's very grateful and we really appreciate your efforts to put that in. And I think from the Sri Lanka and all these, we can see that institutional collection, building the capacity of the stakeholders are the main challenges, and I think it is common for all of us. So I think we can take one more country, and then maybe we can have a small question and answer session in between, and then we take two more rounds of country. So let me see from Malaysia. I think Arif, you are here.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, Jaipal, I'm here.
Yeah, let me make you a presenter. Okay. So do you want to say something or you just want to talk or?
Maybe during the
presentation.
presentation. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't mind, if I can share my screen.
Okay, sure. So Malaysia is in between the Asia and the Pacific, and we can consider that they are kind of a good developing system for the BTR. And I also got opportunity to review in detail that BTR before the submission, and I can say that it was very good. So let's hear some experience from the Malaysia. Yes, Arif, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Japan. Assalamualaikum and greetings to all. I think that Elizabeth also with me, right? Dr. Liz, you are there, Dr. Liz?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay, allow me to present on Malaysia's experience pertaining to the preparation of BTR one. Given that on paper we have 7 minutes of presentation, so this is the estimated content for our slides. We will talk about the highlights of Malaysia's BTR1. We also will convey Malaysia's institutional arrangement on the BTR1 preparation. What were the challenges that we faced, and what we did and learned along the journey, as well as maybe certain salient points and way forward. So yeah, we are pleased to again to convey that we have submitted our BTR1 on 31st December last year. And there is one strong statement here in this slide, at the very bottom of this slide, that this was made with the utmost supports and contributions from the stakeholders. And we also would like, to shout out to CBGSP for the QA exercise. Means that we request to CBGSP to conduct the QA exercise for Malaysia's BTR1. And we really appreciate, the improvement, the inputs, the comments for further improvement before the submission to the UNFCCC. And then we also here we talk about the institutional arrangement pertaining to the climate change reporting in Malaysia. We call it here the apex decision making on climate change. We call it the National Committee. We call it MTPIN. MTPIN. Yeah. Which is chaired by the Prime Minister, and then we have the National Steering Committee on Climate Change. We have Technical Steering Committee on Climate Change. And then down further, we have the Malaysia GHG Center, MyGHG, a new establishment under National Focal Point that will put focus on the matters pertaining to the climate change reporting. And then we have TWG group as well as thematic working groups. Dr. Elizabeth is the chairperson for the TWG inventory. So yep, we have set frequent enough in order to prepare the BTR1. And here, this is the details of the institutional arrangement. For BTR1, we have mainly 3 TWGs. TWG inventory, TWG mitigation, as well as TWG finance, technology, and needs. Under TWG inventory, we have 5 SWGs, and under TWG mitigation, we have roughly 7 SWGs. And each chest for each TWG is coming from different ministry or agency. For example, SW Energy is chaired by one expert or one officer from Energy Commission. For SWG IPPU inventory, it is chaired by the ministry officers from the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry. Vice versa, or so on and so forth for other SWG as well. So this could be a non-exhaustive challenges that we face during the preparation of BTR1. Like the first one, this is the first time to prepare the BTR1. Are we sure this can be delivered? Second is, this is one of the realities. Some of the officers are relatively new. Could the BTR1 be prepared with this condition? Third is, yes, we made understood, we face that certain constraint that the disbursement of the funds from UNEP, which actually from CHEF, was received relatively later during the preparation of BTR1. Subsequently, the kickoff was made relatively later, somewhere in May 2024 last year, which means we only have like roughly 6 or 8 months towards the submission deadline. And last point is the relative capacity to prepare the BTR1. So nevertheless, although the official kickoff was made relatively later, the de facto preparation was started as early in quarter 3 or quarter 4, 2023. At that juncture or in that period, there was gradual build up on the CMS understanding. We have relatively frequent or monthly TWG meeting, especially the TWG inventory meeting to refine and discuss the arising matters. For example, like when we talk about CMA, what will be the details to be implemented in the outline of the BTR? Should we make it in mere sentence form, or is good to convey the fact and certain figures in table or certain interactive format, so that it will help understanding of the readers, for example. And then as a third point is, we also fortunate that we have continuity of capacity from previous reporting exercise. For example, we have the experience mainly from the expert pertaining to the preparation of the NC4 BR4. And at that time also, during certain period, we also had developed, we call it NDC and LTLETS project or national document to be submitted to the FCCC. So this kind of capacity continuity that we really value enough to be brought forward for the preparation of BTR1. We also made understood that there is pertinent to have continuous capacity building either for the new or current officers. So along, the preparation of BTR1, we won't deny or we won't hesitate to also to be involved in the whatever offered courses or workshops offered by UNFCCC or maybe by CBGSP or by other parties. And second last point is, yes, when we talk about a very relatively tight deadline with relatively limited resources, we will talk about how the project could be managed appropriately, considering certain flexibility and agility by the project members. And lastly, yes, one of our approach with regards to the preparation of the CRT is we utilize IPCC in order to to key in the data to be further converted to the CRT. So in this regard, we we learn that we will require capacity enhancement to strengthen our capacity pertaining to the IPCC software, which further will improve the development of Malaysia's CRT. And then lastly, way forward, 3 points, 3 main points. First one is continuous improvement and capacity building. Considering all of the type of the stakeholders. Second is continuous engagement with the stakeholders, to convince to them, to get them involved, like we have heard that, some of the word of wisdom that, tell me I will forget, teach me and I will remember and involve me and then I will appreciate it, those kind of things. And then, we look forward for the preparation of BTR2 in the next year, which from our side, we estimate that the on the ground or the operational things will be started as early as in this June 2025. Dr. Liz, if you have something to share as well.
No, I don't. You have already shared everything. Thanks.
That's it, Jaipal. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Arif. And Malaysia's experience is very helpful for all of us to understand how you have managed this. And one common thing between the Sri Lanka and all of this are in a very short time they have prepared, because the fund comes from the UNDP or UNEP or this JEF agency, and then start this process and complete it. So I completely understand that it's very challenging. So maybe we can have a little break here to ask for the question to this country, or if anyone has anything to share, or then we still have two more countries, Brunei and the Philippines. I know we are a little bit behind, but this is a very good experience for all of us to share and understand from the countries. So I would request all of you to stay here and let me open the floor for question and answer. So if you have anything that you would like to understand from Sri Lanka, Maldives, or Malaysia, then please unmute your mic, or you can also use the chat box. Yes, Noim, please.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the colleagues here, but let me start with one key questions. And actually, I have three questions to the three presenter and colleagues from the Pacific Island. Maybe some questions you may also wants to add here in the chat box, as Chepal said. So first question to our colleague from Malaysia. If you could just say a little bit about your Malaysia GSG Center. And the second question goes to our colleagues from Sri Lanka, that 4 months time to prepare. How did you actually did the magic math here? And the third one goes to our colleagues from Maldives. And you said institutional memory. Now, I think we have heard institutional setting, institutional arrangements, but something institutional memory, the word actually catches my eye. So if you could just say briefly what does actually mean in terms of our, keeping the intelligence in the systems or something you can elaborate from your side. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can call the countries. So maybe Arif.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Noim Udin. Okay, with regards to the Malaysia's National Jahaji Center, how I can convey this? It has been discussed at the cabinet level. Then it has been, approved by the cabinet to, to form the National Jahaji Center. In the context of implementation, we could start a small numbers of officers, which could be further expanded. And the main purpose of the one of the main purpose of the National Jahaji Center is with regards to the national climate change reporting obligation to the UNFCCC. And we also would like to convey that this is also worth or could be relatively strategic, that the center could provide as a platform to have a kind of knowledge retention. Means that whatever capacity built by the officers or by the stakeholders should be retained at the JG Center. So this may address, the things with regards to the, the nature of, the government officers, 4 or 5 years, they will come in and then go. But, the things that we would like to, have a retention on it is, through the JG Center is the knowledge and capacity developed from the previous years. So, in certain Jaga network, this also may address, things with regards to the institutional memory. Means that it's not only, it should not be based on personal basis, regardless either it is a government officer or the consultant. The memory should be institutionalized, which in this case, it should be institutionalized by the National Geology Center. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Arif. And if Raupa is here, maybe you can say about the Noim's question.
Yes, hi. So about institutional memory, what I meant by that is that so our Malaysia colleague also mentioned, right? If you do or if you hear or see something versus if you're involved in doing, how much we gain is different. So, and then we are doing this in teams. It's not only our CCD that is involved. Other institutions as well as the ministry's corporate also supports us to do to carry out and complete all of the tasks that we are doing. And then there is about how our institutions change. Like, for example, when Maldives submitted the BTR, we had our Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy. But now you will see on my slide, we have become the Ministry of Tourism and Environment. So our institutions keep changing a lot. And with it, even though mostly the core technical departments stay the same, our corporate get restructured, and that is one reason. There is reason there why people move and our teams change. also there is that we have a difficulty in retaining staff. So having long-term staff is also difficult. So I think this is quite common in our countries as well. So combining all these together, I meant institutional memory, because as institutions change, the memories change, and we do try to document it and institutionalize our processes as much as possible. But these factors make it very challenging.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raupa. And I think Ambika, I got a message from Ambika. She has another meeting, but CBTSP is also involved in the preparation of the BTR in a 4 months. So I can share experience from the Sri Lanka. Actually, Sri Lanka got very late about this project from the JEF agency, and the main I can say about the how they have managed it's the continuous meeting. The mention about the weekly meeting from this Ambika, that they are continuously taking a follow up with the all the stakeholders every week. And I also got a questions from the Sri Lanka that these are these things that they are stuck. So they are doing actually two things together. Wherever they stuck, they just contact all the support agencies that these are the what could be the shortest solution that we can manage for the first BTR. And because they want to like manage the time and also would like to submit everything as at least all the mandatory things with the flexibility, whatever is available. So of course, we all know that BTR is a continuous improvement process. It's not like the first BTR will be the perfect. So yeah, that's the maybe a story of the Sri Lanka. So let's quickly move to the uh, Brunei and the Philippines. So I will request the Brunei Climate Change Secretariat, if you can share some your experience. You have also a very good capacity, and I saw your BTR. You have tremendously include all the information. So yeah, Brunei, please.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Atika.
Hi. Sorry, the team is currently having a mic issue. The one speaking is currently having a mic issue. Would you mind having our after this?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So let me go to the Philippines, and Jacinth is here. So Philippines has also done the very good BTR, and we are also involved in this preparation of this process. So let's hear from the Philippines, and then maybe we can get back to the Brunei. Jacinth, please.
Hi, Jaypal. Let me share my screen first.
Yeah, please.
Can you see the screen clearly?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon. There's time difference between our countries. So I am Jason Palapostol from the Climate Change Commission. But firstly, on behalf of the Climate Change Commission Secretary Robert A. Borge, Commissioner Rachel Ann Herrera, Commissioner Albert de la Cruz, and my supervisor, Ms. Amy Evangelista, allow me to express our appreciation for inviting us, the Philippines, and of course the Climate Change Commission to this important and very timely workshop with Asian countries, Asian and Pacific countries. So again, I am Jason Apostol, a scientific documentation officer at the Climate Change Commission, and I'll be sharing the Philippines experience and lessons learned from the development of the Philippines' first Biennial Transparency Report. Okay, Climate Change Commission, firstly, I'll introduce my office, was established in 2009 through the Republic Act number 9729, and it was amended by the RA 10174. So the Climate Change Commission is the lead policy making body tasked to coordinate, monitor, and evaluate climate change programs, activities, and policies in the government. So it is actually one of the national focal points to the UNFCCC, and we are the lead agency for transparency and climate reports. So actually, it is the only commission government that is attached to the Office of the President. Okay, so I'll walk you through our timeline between the Philippines and the UNFCCC. So starting from the 1992, it is the year wherein the Philippines signed the UNFCCC, and 1994 we have ratified it into our laws to demonstrate our early commitment to global climate action. And in 2003, we ratified the Kyoto Protocol, followed by our submission of the initial national communication in 2004. And fast forward to 2014, we have submitted the second national communication, which provide updated information on our emissions and climate actions in the Philippines. In 2017, the country ratified the Paris Agreement, which reinforces our support for a legally binding global action regime focused on limiting, of course, the temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius. And in 2021, we have submitted the first nationally determined contribution, which lays out our national climate change mitigation and adaptation commitments. And in 2023, we have completed our national greenhouse gas inventories for the years 2015 and 2020. And of course, in the previous year, 2024, we have completed our NDC implementation plan, and we were also able to submit our national adaptation plan. And just recently, March 31, we have submitted our Philippines' first Biennial Transparency Report, and we are currently updating our NDC, and we are with the target submission before COP 30 this November in Belém, Brazil. For the Philippines, first Biennial Transparency Report, it underscores our nation's commitment to, of course, a global climate agenda and a sustainable future. So I would like to acknowledge that the President of the Philippines and the sitting chairperson of the Climate Change Commission has underscored his vision of a climate smart, resilient, and a low carbon economy that highlights the Philippines' role and responsibility as a member of the international community. So the CCC likewise expresses gratitude to the Philippine government agencies for their commitment and collaboration in advancing the country's climate agenda. And of course, the BTR was developed through a whole of government approach. So we have formalized an technical working group also for this initiative. So we also extend our appreciation to CBIT GSP through JPAL, and of course, UN FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, for providing capacity building support to the writing team, core writing team of the BTR and our agencies that help to ensure the successful completion of this initiative. So for the BTR proper, as I've mentioned, we have established an interagency technical working group in the development of our first BTR. So it actually was organized or established last October. So we have, I've heard that there's a country that finished the BTR in 4 months, but for the Philippines, we have finished the BTR within 3 months. So actually by December, we have developed or finalized. We have the zero draft of the BTR by the end of December, but we have requested further consultation and approval process of the BTR, and so we were able to submit it by March 31st. So we have requested official nominations from the government agencies involved within the climate change realm, and we have also requested support from the local climate change experts here in the Philippines to provide their insights and review the BTR itself. So we have engaged in various activities that includes meetings, workshops, and consultations, as I've mentioned. One of the workshops, of course, the capacity building activities led by JPAL, although virtually it really supplemented the need for capacity building of the BTR writing team. So internally, within our office, we have created an internal special working group within the CCC to efficiently allocate and manage the preparation of the individual chapters of the BTR. So as I've mentioned, it is the CCC that leads in the development of BTR or climate reports for the Philippines. So we have to strategically allocate our resources, including the workforce, to develop one report or these reports. So here's the outline of the Philippines' first BTR. We have 7 chapters. First will be the national circumstances of the Philippines. So we use this relevant information such as the Philippine Development Plan. So it's a midterm plan for the Philippines based on the administration of the president. We have the Philippine Energy Plan. We have the National Framework Strategy on Climate Change, the National Climate Change Action Plan, National Determined Contribution, and the Implementation Plan, and the National Adaptation Plan. We also have Chapter 2 for the National Greenhouse Gas Inventory, which includes the sectoral greenhouse gas inventory reports. So for this BTR, again, we have established a technical working group last October. But for greenhouse gas inventory, it has been established since 2014. We have the Philippine Greenhouse Gas Inventory Management and Reporting System. So the CCC is also identified as the overall lead agency of the inventory system in the Philippines. But we have further identified sectoral lead agencies to lead in their respective sectors and mandates of their greenhouse gases. And we have the NDC tracking implementation progress for Chapter 3. It includes of course, the policies and measures identified in our NDC, including the implementation plan. And although it is an encouraged chapter, we have included adaptation, wherein we sourced our information from our National Adaptation Plan and Climate Change Action Plan, including the Philippine Climate Change Assessment. So, like the IPCC, the Philippines established an NGO here in the Philippines regularly provides or develops climate change assessments that can be used by the government and the policymakers. We have Chapter 5 for the financial, technical, and capacity building support needed and received chapter. We get our data. We get our data from the ODA portfolio review of one of the government agencies in the Philippines, and we have additional information that we got from the NDC implementation plan. Of course, for the flexibility, we have sourced it from the greenhouse gas inventory reports developed for national and sectoral, and the NDC implementation plan. So areas for improvement is a cross-cutting issue. So we have requested support needs and specific technical capacity and gaps from the agencies. And we have compiled it into one chapter for Chapter 7. For annexes, we have, of course, the CRT and CTF. For CRT, we are still compiling it. For the GC inventory, we have submitted the 2015 and 2020. We acknowledge that this is not in line with the requirements of the enhanced transparency framework, but this is the data that is available for the Philippines. And while we are still completing our 2022 inventory, we are also filling up the CRTs for the 2015 and 2020. For the IPCC software, actually we used the 2.69 version in the previous year for the 2015 and 2020. However, it is not updated and not interoperable with the ETF reporting tool developed by the UNFCCC. So we are still looking for alternatives on how to generate CRT tables with the current or with the available data that we currently have. And for the CTF, we have prepared CTF tables for the NDs, for the implementation of progress for the mitigation component. And we have also for the FPC for support needed and received. So all this information were obtained from the NDC text, implementation plan, and official development assistant portfolio review. And for the challenges and lessons learned from the Philippines, so these insights actually reflect the challenges that we faced and opportunities for improving in the future reporting cycles of the Philippines under the ETF. So firstly is the early planning and coordination are crucial. So we learned that there is, of course, a need to plan this at the earliest time possible. Effective planning and interagency coordination allowed us to streamline data collection and align our efforts with our national priorities. So there is also a need to strengthen our institutional arrangements since it was just established in the latter months or in the fourth quarter of the last fiscal year. So we have to really work on these institutional arrangements with agencies on transparency, not just for greenhouse gas inventory, but we have I have seen the presentations earlier that you have established some countries, Asian countries also established institutional arrangements, not just for greenhouse gas inventories, but for mitigation and adaptation. So we are also looking into that improvement. So of course, the BTR process revealed to the Philippines that there is a need to formalize these arrangements for smoother collaboration and data sharing for the reporting to the NFCCC. There's also an issue, of course, data availability and quality remain core challenge for the Philippines. There's, of course, the granularity of data from the local government subnational to the national data. So we have to intertwine this data collection system and management. And we have to improve our, of course, data system. We have to improve these data systems for our future reporting cycles. Of course, we have to highlight the need for continuous capacity building activities. And is a very target and specialized knowledge for us to develop this kind of report, since of course it has been emphasized earlier that this is our first time to develop or prepare for BTR. So we have to continuously improve our knowledge and expertise on climate change and reporting. So it must be aligned with the emerging and ongoing, evolving methodologies of what transpires in COP and SBs. So we also highlighted this, the interactive learning that improves the outcome. So we have also benefited, I think most of the countries benefited from learning by doing approach, by iterative drafting, peer reviews, and of course, various or cumulative feedback loops that help refine our outputs with our BTRs, BTR drafts, and which consequently enhance the quality of the report. The time constraints, we have to anticipate, of course, time constraints and resource limitations within reporting. So not all there's still need to establish or mainstream climate change within our government offices. So not all government offices have an allocated unit or office for climate change. So some of the offices still view climate change as additional workload for their main tasks. So it's not actually their main task. So we have to still mainstream climate change and climate change reporting to these agencies. And lastly, we have to leverage the existing reports and systems um, currently available. So as you've seen, we have sourced most of our data from the reports that were developed with the Philippines, especially the NDC Implementation Plan, the NAP Adaptation Plan, the National Climate Change Action Plan, National Framework Strategy on Climate Change. So we still have to develop and improve in reporting in the future. So there is also a need to establish and improve our MRV systems to help us avoid duplication of work and of course ensure consistency and better transparency in our reporting. And so for my last slide, for the Philippines, this is the as a party to the UNFRI policy, of course, these reports is more than compliance itself. So they serve as critical tools and say basis for science and evidence-based information, which are necessary for policymaking, tracking progress, and promoting collaboration. Of course, accessing finance to address climate change more effectively. So we have this 4 Ps: the policy formulation, progress tracker, and promote convergence and provision of finance. So for policy formulation, climate reports, they provide essential data and insights that guide the creation of effective, of course, climate-related policies, which helps developing evidence-based frameworks that address countries' climate changes. And for progress tracker, the second P, these reports serve as tool to monitor and track the nation's progress in achieving its climate targets, such as the NDC. And they help us ensure that we are on course, or are we on track to meet our climate goals. Next will be the promotion of convergence. It provides a common platform for data collection and action, transparency, and reporting that fosters coordination and convergence among various stakeholders in either public and private institutions, both at the national and international levels, that help us align our climate actions across the sectors and across levels. And finally, climate reports provides us or is pivotal in facilitating finance, accessing to finance that provides data needed for securing funding from, example, international sources that ensures these are mobilized to support and implement climate initiatives for the country. So through these reports, we foster transparency, accountability, and a clear understanding of national circumstance. So it highlights the Philippines as one of the most vulnerable countries to the impacts of climate change. And it also conveys the need for support, not just in finance, but to technology transfer and capacity building as well. So these 4 Ps work together to strengthen the Philippines' climate governance and accountability in tracking our emissions, implementing informed mitigation and adaptation actions, and accessing financial support and finance. So with that, thank you very much. And if there are there are questions, I feel free to answer them. Thank you. Thank you, Jaypal.
Thank you so much, Jacinth, and You have comprehensively included all the information that how Philippines has started the preparation and how you have completed uh, recently. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I would request participant, if you have any question, please use the chat box. So let me quickly move to the Brunei. Brunei has also done the very good BTR. So request Atika to please share your thoughts.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Hi, this is not Tika. Good day, everyone. I'm Kay from Planning and Coordination
Okay.
Team at the Brunei Climate Change Office, so representing Brunei. Apologies for two things today due to the technical problems, the lack of camera, and due to endorsement issues, the lack of slides. So, nevertheless, pleased to share some key highlights and reflections from our BTR process. From listening to the other presentation, it seems common across the region, so I'll try to keep ours brief. So, before addressing the challenges, we'd like to highlight that this process has been a valuable learning experience, helping us better understand how to improve going forward. In terms of our challenge, first, we have capacity and experience constraints. First, we face some limitation in technical skills and institutional resources. The BCCO, Brunei Climate Change Office, is the designated focal team for BTR, and we are fairly a small team, about 4 people. Most of us, myself included, had no prior experience with UNFCC reporting. So putting it all together with its many chapters definitely came with its fair share of challenges. Let's just say the sleepless nights were really real. Then we have strong coordination, which emerges as a key takeaway. On this, we conducted a number of stakeholders engagement and the launch of our mandatory reporting directive in April 2023 made a significant difference. So this directive, which requires all GHG emitting or removing entities to report the emissions quarterly or annually, marked a major step forward in strengthening our data collection, coordination, and the appointment of trained focal points for each sector really helped. So having a dedicated context to work with us allowed us to gather the necessary information more efficiently and accurately without always needing to wait for formal replies, which in Brunei is a big thing. In terms of data availability and quality issues, another that was one of the major challenges was the data itself. In terms of both assessing the data that Brunei currently lacks, such as land use changes information, and having the capacity to process and interpret it. So a lot of the activity data we needed either didn't exist in a usable format or was scattered across different agencies. In terms of sector-specific challenges, due to the lack of historical baseline and data, we rely heavily on default IPCC values, which do not always accurately reflect local conditions. So Afulu was the most difficult sector for us due to outdated or inconsistent land use and forestry data, complex methodology, of course, and for estimating emission removal as well as carbon stock changes. And our land use data is scattered, not consistently updated or mapped across the IPCC category. So we still haven't been able to report on that one yet. So improving our Fulu inventory is a priority moving forward. On technical tools and reporting system, one of the challenges we faced was the general lack of awareness and understanding around tools like the CRT. So these tables are quite detailed and require very specific data inputs. We still have loads of gaps, and we're still actively building up our national data system and technical know-how. So it can be a bit overwhelming. There weren't always many examples to follow, and the tools themselves are still evolving. Internally, we have issues with institutional and clearance delay. These getting clearance were lengthy and extremely difficult. To get, we required active push from senior management to move forward. So it took a lot of back and forth learning by doing, in some cases, external support to get through it. On this, we are really thankful for the support from our international partners, whether it was through training, technical advice, or chances to learn from other countries what they're doing, best practice, and so on. So this support has been instrumental in strengthening our capacity. So our participation in global programs under the UNFCCC, GIZ, CBIT have significantly helped build our national capacity. That said, going through the BTR did help us clearly see what the gaps are and what we need to work on. It's also been a valuable experience, helped us realize where we need to build capacity, not just technically, but also in terms of data systems and institutional role. Lastly, we're now taking steps to improve and strengthen our MRV system, close our sectoral gaps, build priority areas for improvement, and so on. So for the next round, we hope to be better prepared and maybe start earlier to take into account approval delays, missing information. Additionally, since we have clearer understanding of the process, we hope to place greater emphasis on enhancing the quality and robustness of our reporting, which we are trying to do as well for our NDC. That's it from Brunei Darussalam. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And in a very short time, I think you have prepared a very good BTR. And I would also like to inform that without the support of the JEF implementing agency, due to some modality, they are not able to receive the fund. But without that, even they have prepared a very good BTR. So that's commendable and a good example for all of us. So I know we are a little, I think, half an hour late. So this is the end of our webinar, and our last activity is the Mentimeter. So let me open that, and simultaneously we can have a discussion also. So the link is the same. It's in the chat box, or you can also type the www.menti.com 37189456. And we only have 3 questions now, so you can go quickly through. One about the next activity that in any particular area that you would like to learn something. So we can have another sessions or specifically webinars on particular topic, and anything specifically one word about the BTR, and then only the feedback. So I would request all of you to please use this Menti. You can use the link in the chat box or just type the www.menti. Let me post again this link. Yeah, and also I will save all these PPTs and material recordings to all the registered participants. And on the next week, 22nd April, we will go through the technical expert review process. There is a little bit change in the timing due to I have to accommodate some north side people, some people from UNFCCC and the developed countries. So I will let you know the timing, but the date is the same and the link is the same. So those who have already registered, you will get notified by the email regarding the changes in the time. But the next session will be also helpful for these countries, those who are preparing, and also the submitted. Some of our countries has already got an email from the technical expert review process. They have started and they are already in the process. So that will also helpful for all of us to understand how to handle this expert review. And yeah, if anyone has anything to say, feedback, comment, suggestion, please feel free. Still, we have a receiving the answer in the Mentimeter. The floor is open for everyone. Noim, anything from your side?
Thanks, Japal. While our colleagues are actually putting their comments or feedback in the Mentimeter, I just would like to thank you all the speakers from the Asia regions. Thanks for your time and valuable inputs. I think from the Pacific, we have a long way to go, but I think the challenges and opportunities and some of those helpful tips are very useful, and we can actually look at considering our national circumstances. I think here we heard about the Brunei as well as how Philippines has been done, and definitely the phase 3 group of countries. There are definitely similarities there, but also in our circumstances there are a few challenges, as we know that we're starting at a different time scale to reach the BTR goal. But we'll definitely come back to you, and we'd like to thank you for your time and sharing your experience. And I'm sure that next week we'll have another session, another opportunity to ask more questions, and be prepared on this technical evaluation or technical review from the UNFCCC team. And thanks, Jepal, for accommodating us. And I think we'll wait to see the next session in a week time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Noeem, and thank you all the Pacific people to joining today's webinar. And I will also save this Mentimeter link in the email. You can answer or share your feedback through that. And yes, this is the, I think, last question, and I can see some interesting words about the BTR. Some are the stressful, some are the good, some are the satisfactory. So yeah, that's the BTR, and I think maybe in the future we all have in a common stage that sharing some very good BTR from all of the countries, because that's the main idea. And yeah, thank you for also the feedback. Thank you for also joining today's webinar. You are staying with beyond the time. That shows that how interested you are. So as we conclude today's session, I want to also express my sincere appreciation to all the speakers from Maldives, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Brunei, and the Philippines, and also all the participants who enrich this our discussion with your insight. So preparing a BTR is less like a filling out a form, but more like a producing a climate documentary. So complete with the technical challenges and uh, very specific moments. So, but our colleagues have demonstrated that with proper planning, coordination, and maybe a very good supply of coffee, it is achievable. So thank you, and I also encourage all of you to continue this conversation beyond our webinars, and feel free to reach out to CBTSP. The connection that we made are very important here, and don't forget to join us in the next week for the second webinar on the technical expert review process, where we will demystify that what happened after you hit the submission button of the BTR. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week, the same day. The little bit timing will change, but I will inform you, and we will share all the PPTs and the material. So with this, I will conclude this webinar, and thanks all of you. Thank you so much for joining the webinars.
Thank you, colleagues. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noeem. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Raupa.